Okay, Rutgers has the opportunity to move up the ranks a little bit, step up the ladder of Big Ten standings this week as Illinois comes into Piscataway. Rutgers basketball gets another win. Let's get to it. It's been a pretty good couple of weeks for Rutgers athletics. Football team has two Big Ten wins in a row with the opportunity to make it three in a row against Illinois this Saturday in Piscataway. Basketball getting off to a 3-0 start. They beat Merrimack 74-63. Let's get to that one first. 11-point win at home. Rutgers was a 19.5-point favorite. This game was very much like the St. Peter's game. A little tighter than you would have thought, a little tighter than you would have liked. You had some individual performances that you might not have expected. And I'm going to sound the alarms a little bit. You are what your record says you are, and we're undefeated as we head into Kennesaw State. Nonetheless, we seem to have, much like the football team, giving up chunk yards in the running game to opposing running backs, even if they're not elite running backs or have really high production. Marcus Randolph from Wagner, 22 points. Abdi Bashar for Monmouth, 38 points. And Bud Clark from Merrimack last night, 22 points. We seem to struggle on defense with individual guys. And let's get to the defense, because I've talked about how our perimeter defense, 3-point, defending the three has not been good. It just hasn't. Last night, though, against Merrimack, the defense overall was pretty good. This was a Steve Peichel kind of game. He only gave up 63 points. Merrimack shot 40.6%. That's pretty good. That's old Rutgers, old Steve Peichel kind of defense. Here's the issue. We talked about how our inability to defend the three, we might be able to get away with the Wagners and St. Peter's and Merrimacks of the world. Once you get to Big Ten, you get to Alabama, it's not going to be that way. So we were fortunate last night that Merrimack was 4 for 24 from three. I mean, that's, we had some games like that last year. What if Merrimack went 8 for 24? If they went 8 for 24, 33%, which isn't good, they win the game. I talked about this in the last game, how the other teams are going to pick up on how we can't defend the perimeter, and they're going to take their shots. Fortunately for us, they didn't go in for Merrimack last night. And the other part of the defense is in the paint. Not good. And that's going to be worrisome once we get to the Alabamas and the Big Ten teams. They had 40 points in the lane last night, 17 for 25 shooting. That's going to be a problem if we don't tighten that up. Now, okay, in the beginning, I'm thinking, what kind of team are we going to be? We have an elite recruiting class. We have some transfers that have offensive game, that can shoot, that can distribute. How are we going to pull all those pieces together into a team, a program that in the past was a grinded out, played defense, and struggled to score kind of team? This team is explosive. They're high flying up and down the court. Can shoot it, distribute it, play make, create their own shot, cut to the lane, cut to the basket. So how those pieces came together, I would be okay with the cohesion to take a few games to get together. I don't think that's the case here. I'm not sure if this is something we can clean up in time before we get to Las Vegas. Because what I could see happening, let's get to Ace Bailey. He had himself a game. He was the man last night. 23 points, 10 rebounds, double-double, 9 for 15 shooting. I got to tell you, on half of those turnaround jumpers, I don't even know that he's looking at the basket. This guy, he's unbelievable. His ability to play make and his athleticism and to be able to shoot at his size is astounding. It really is. So maybe we have those kind of nights against better competition where things aren't going well, but Ace can carry us. Or maybe it's Dylan. Let's get to Dylan. First game that he did not break the 20-point mark. You know, he was only 5 for 12 shooting. It was a little bit off night. But here's the thing about Dylan. Still had 8 rebounds and 6 assists. So even if he's off a little bit in his foul shooting and his three-point shooting or his overall scoring, he's going to be able to do other things and facilitate. He had a couple good follow-up tip-ins at the basket. He's going to be able to do things to help you win the game. I'm not real worried about him. I'm not real worried about that. I am worried about the defense. Now, Merrimack lost to VCU. I think, by 21 points, 63, 42, whatever it was. We need to start figuring out the defense, or it's going to be like football where we pile up the wins in the beginning, we get to the Big Ten, and it's like, okay, now we're stumbling a little bit. Don't want to see that happen. Nonetheless, a win is a win, and you are what your record says you are. Let's go into Kennesaw State and get another win. Last thoughts on our last home game of the season this Saturday in Piscataway against the Fighting Illini and Brett Bielema. Already did my preview the other day. This is a game that I think, even though Illinois is ranked, I think that they're 24, they're 7-4, 7-3, 7-3. They should be 7-4, and we should be 7-4 after this Saturday. Would be our, if we win, it'll be a 15 years since we last beat a ranked team, and a 40-game losing streak to a ranked team. Some people are pointing to that as like, okay, this could be a big, huge step. I don't know. It'd be a good win, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's a big deal. People like to point, not just point to the Louisville win, who was number 3 at the time, but the USF, the South Florida win. South Florida is ranked number 2. To me, it's not a huge deal. South Florida, although they were a good program at the time, only wound up being 8-5 the year that we beat them when they were ranked number 2. Not a huge deal to me, but it is an important rung on the ladder to climb up. 3 Big Tens in a row, Big Ten wins in a row would be huge for us. You're a legitimate Big Ten team beating your peers, beating similar programs. That's important. It's not a straight line to the top. We're not determinists here. There's going to be some, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But if you get 3 Big Ten wins in a row, especially after losing 4 in a row, that's a positive step in the right direction. More importantly, or equally as importantly, for getting us to this place and where we are now is the seniors who took a chance on Greg Schiano too. And we owe them a big thanks for putting themselves on the line to try and create something bigger than themselves. And to all the seniors, in particular, Kyle, Tyrene Powell. Who knows what's going to be up with Tyrene's situation, nonetheless. Aaron Lewis, Reggie Sutton, Wesley Bailey, maybe he's back, maybe he's not. Christian Dremel, that glue guy, that good hands receiver that had made some big plays for us. Keontae Hamilton, Desmond Igmanos, and Chris Long, Robert Longerbeam, Daimir, Holland Pierce, Malcolm Ray, Jordan Thompson, Gus Holinskas. Big thanks to Rutgers seniors for putting themselves on the line and daring to make Rutgers a legitimate Big Ten program. So thanks to all the Rutgers seniors. Good luck to Rutgers this Saturday in Piscataway. I'll be there in section 124, hoping to come away with a final home win. I'm not sure the last time that happened, but this would be a really nice ending to our home schedule. And then head into Michigan State, who's struggling a little bit now. And boy, I tell you, an 8-4 season with a potential Citrus Bowl invite. That's on the table. And if we get to 9-4, that absolutely positively would be the kind of season that we were talking about and thinking about and wishing for. That midseason, it didn't look like was going to happen. And if it does happen, kudos to the staff who we kind of killed. But their play calling, having the players ready, all the substitutions in and out, playing conservative, wacky play calling, inconsistent play calling, all of that considered, to be able to iron out all the wrinkles and get to a 9-4 season would be really good work. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the game this Saturday. Enjoy the basketball game against Kennesaw State. And we will see you the next time. Thanks, Rutgers seniors.